I'm going to entitle this video, it should be God said, flee to the wilderness. Or God said, flee into the wilderness. Person that put the comment that goes south. Go south. So it says, wilderness Africa. You have to say God said, flee wilderness of Africa. Doesn't have this. Okay, this is put up back in 20. So we put this comment on the video that put Ron Doach Jr.'s of Jeff, so-called white, they put topics. So I just got this video 7 hours to be exact. Again, God said flee to the wilderness Africa. And the Most High never said that. Go into the word wilderness. Wilderness is mentioned. The term, the word wilderness occurs 305 times, almost 300 verses in the scriptures, in the King James. So right here it says, Genesis 14, verse 6, and the Horites, which are Canaanites, in their Mount Seir, the first inhabitants of Mount Seir are the Canaanites. And Esau came in after the fact. You can go into them. That's a whole nother topic. Now, this guy, Ron Dalton Jr., said that the Horites and the Edomites got together, and that's where you get Amalek. There's no scripture on it. I mean, you can give me the scripture. Maybe it's some secret scripture I don't know about. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go into this word, Horites. So this right here, Mount Seir, that's not Africa. That's right. Technically, it's touching Africa. You can say it's Africa. There's a scripture in Ezekiel 20. I'm going to read that, where it says the wilderness we went into, which is part of Egypt, because they all touch each other. You got the Red Sea touches part of the continent of Africa. You got the Nile, which is in Africa. That's why people say the Middle East, Jerusalem is part of Africa. But then you got tectonic plates, and there's a split between Palestine and Africa. You have 12 tectonic plates. So as far as the tectonic plates is concerned, do some research on that. How many tectonic plates? And they'll show you what the tectonic plates is. That's where you get earthquakes from. Africa is on one tectonic plate, and then you got Israel and Europe and so forth going north. That's another tectonic plate. Like I said, there's 12 of them. So okay, so it says wilderness right here, right? It's talking about which is by the wilderness. Now, what wilderness did they have to be talking about? It was talking about the wilderness of I'm not going to bring up a map, but it's talking about the wilderness which was in between the Gulf of Suez and the Gulf of Aqaba, because we left out of Goshen, which is like northern Egypt, and we went the escape route was through not the Red Sea, but the extension of the Red Sea, which is the Gulf of Suez, into the wilderness. The wilderness is where those two gulfs are, in between those two gulfs. The first people that they encountered when they went to the promised land, when the Most High led them to the promised land, was their brothers, the Edomites, because they were going north. They went through Edom, Moab, Ammon, up into the promised land, which is the land of Canaan. Okay, so this is I'm not going to read all these precepts here. But wilderness, the word wilderness does not mean the same exact place. And the Most High never said go to the wilderness, or He will take you to Africa. He will take you to the wilderness, and it's not Africa, because we were already in that wilderness. Oh boy. Okay, you see this word wilderness. We know that this is talking about the wilderness that we went when we left out of Egypt or Africa. Yeah, it says here the Amalekites and the Canaanites dwelt in the valley, meaning they were in close proximity, just like Moab dwelt close to Edom, and Ammon dwelt close to Moab. That didn't mean that they mingled their seed. Okay, so now let's go over here. Way up here. Ezekiel 20, verse 13. But the house of Yasha'ala rebelled against me in the wilderness. It's going back to that place in between the Suez and the Gulf of Aqaba. Gulf Suez, Gulf of Aqaba. And they despise my judgment, which if a man do, he shall even live in them. And my statutes and my Sabbath, they greatly polluted. I got to go above that 10th verse. And this is going to show you that they received the understanding of the Sabbath in the wilderness. So what calendar did they use to go by the seventh day? For you Friday sundown to Saturday sundown people. They didn't keep the Sabbath in Egypt, so-called Egypt, because the Egyptians had their own calendar. The calendar was a 30-day calendar, which was based on 3 weeks in the months, 10 days. Look it up. The Julian calendar, Julius Caesar took a trip to Egypt to learn about the calendar of Egypt, because his calendar was going to be based on the Egyptian calendar, which was about 30 days. But he went off just like the Egyptians went off. So we weren't in Egypt telling the pharaohs and the taskmasters, oh, it's a 7th day, we got to rest. No, they busted your ass. You work when they told you to work. You didn't have no time to rest. So in the wilderness, the Most High gave you the laws, and one of the laws was the Sabbath. So what is the Sabbath based upon? Is all high holy days are based upon the new moon. The starting point is the new moon. When you look up in the sky, you can't see the moon. It's invisible, or you see the little um, a sliver a, a sliver of like a crescent. That's the new moon. That one is the full moon. It says where 10 verse Ezekiel 20 verse 10. Wherefore I caused them to go to Israelites forth out of the land of Egypt, Mizraim, and brought them into the wilderness. And I gave them my statutes and showed them my judgments, which if a man do, he shall even live in them. Moreover, also I gave them my Sabbath. When did the Most High give Israel the Sabbath? In the wilderness. So what calendar did they go by? Did they say, oh, I happened to grab a calendar from Egypt? No, that calendar is based upon the 3 week in a month, every 10 days. So what calendar did they have? They didn't have a calendar. They had the moon. Moreover, also, I gave them my Sabbath to be a sign between me and them. Genesis 1:14, the sun, the moon, and stars for days, seasons, times, and years. Signs meaning omens. That they might know that I am Yahweh, that sanctify them, make them holy. But the house of Yasha'Allah rebelled against me in the wilderness. Where's the wilderness? North of the Red Sea. So it said that they were breaking the Sabbath. They wouldn't even circumcising their children. That's why this time the Most High is going to destroy, the Most High is only going to save the elect, and he's going to destroy the rest of y'all. So now let's come down over here. What wilderness is this talking about? I'll start at the headline. I'll read it verbatim. God will restore Israel to her land. Her land is not the wilderness. It's a land that was promised to in the vision that was given to Abraham, Abraham, father of a multitude. And that extends far beyond where the small had to live in. So right there, they're not fulfilling the prophecy because they're supposed to have all of Saudi Arabia. That's a lot of land right there. It says, as I live, saith the Lord, power, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out, will I rule over you, and I will bring you out from the people. That's talking about right now, from the Americas, from the countries around the world, and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered. According to Deuteronomy 28:64, we're scattered literally throughout everywhere. So there's Israelites all over the place. But the Most High is only going to gather the elect, Matthew 24, with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm. That's when the Lord comes back with the angels. They come, they destroy this place. Simultaneously, the missiles will be shot on America. The ones of us in America that are part of the elected Israel will be beamed up. And we're going to look and see the destruction. We're going to get a ringside seat. Psalm 91, you should read that. And then we're going to have to land down. That's when John saw the New Jerusalem in Revelation 21 coming down from heaven. And when we come down, we're going to take over the whole world. But we're going to go to a wilderness. Didn't tell you what wilderness. Didn't say Africa. Didn't say South America. Didn't say Europe. Didn't say Russia. But it says a wilderness. Now, what the 7 used to teach was it was talking about South America. That kind of makes sense. With a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out. Fury poured out on who? Esau. and I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. So that kills what Ron Dalton says about we got to go to Africa. Someone asked a question, well, what if we can't afford it? I'm gonna tell you just like it is. I'm considered middle class. I got a little bit of money. I'm not rich, but there's no way in hell I can afford to just move to Africa. There's no way in hell I ain't got that type of money. You're gonna have to have some money. You're gonna have to be worth about $500,000 at least. That's a major move, man. That's a major move. And there's a lot of prep that you got to do. So maybe this guy Ron Dalton, like I don't know if he's a millionaire. I don't know what his financial status. I'm not concerned about it. I'm not pocket watching. But you just can't get up and say I want to go to Africa, and that's it. You go to Africa. That shit backfired on Elder Rakash Shayal, the GOCC. He messed up a whole lot of people, and now they don't want to have nothing to do with Israel. So he's gonna have to pay for that, man. He left them out there stranded. They ran out of money. Like that's why the scriptures say in Jeremiah, "Cursed be the man that trusteth in man." Like as I pleaded with their fathers in the wilderness. So this is talking about that first wilderness of the land of Egypt, because it's touching Egypt. So will I plead, and I believe that word is judge you, saith the Lord. Let's look up the word plead. Okay, I'm going to finish reading. And I will cause you to pass under the rod. What does the rod do? It corrects you. And I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. And I read this before in a previous video. What covenant is it talking about? The new covenant. Are we in the new covenant? No. We're in between the old covenant and the new covenant. New covenant is when we're changed. And I will purge out from among you the rebels. So now when we land back down, you're going to have Jakes that's going to buck up against what we're teaching them. And we're going to have spiritual power, and we're going to destroy them until they get the message that the Most High set up us, these men, because we're going to have spiritual power. We're going to be like the X-Men. And if you come up against us, we're going to destroy you. And we're going to do it to the other nations. Esau, you got Europeans that's going to be intact. You're going to have them crazy ass Russians and them Ukrainians trying to fight us. And we're going to use spiritual power. And then they're going to get the message. They said, look, we can't beat these people. Let's just submit. And then we're going to set up, work orders for you. Because you are going into slavery. Slavery is coming back in a major way. You're going to get them hot boxes set up for your ass. And them that transgress against me, I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel. So the land of Israel is not in Africa. They're going to go in the wilderness first. Most High going to straighten them up. They're going to straighten them out. They're going to bring the rod over them, the rod of correction. And then the Most High is going to set up the Israelites that are right in their mind. And then we're going to go back into the land of Israel. But we're going to rule the whole world. So we're not just going to be staying in that land. We're going to be around the whole world. And we're going to be controlling everything around the world among these nations. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh. And this is getting ready to happen. And as for you, O house of Yasha'Allah, thus saith Yahweh the Most High, go ye, serve ye everyone his serve ye everyone his idols, and hereafter also, if ye will not hearken unto me, but pollute ye my holy name. How do you pollute the Lord's holy name? By calling him Jesus. No more with your gifts and with your idols. So there's only going to be one religion. There's going to be one law. There's going to be one decree. And if you don't keep it, you're going to die. You're not going to get punished. You're going to die. In my holy mountain, which is the kingdom, and the mountain of the height of Yashar Allah, saith the Most High, there shall all the house of Yeshua out of the two kingdoms coming back together, all of them in the land serve me. There will I accept them, and there will I require your offerings and first fruits of your oblations with all your holy things. Because we are going to have offerings, but we're not going to, Israel's not going to have sin offerings because we're not going to sin. Like when you have the Passover, there's a ceremony of killing the lamb and cooking the lamb. That's an offering right there. When we put up prayers, that's an offering to the Most High. I will accept you with your sweet Savior when I bring you out from the people, the other nations, and gather you out of the countries wherein ye have been scattered, and I will be sanctified in you before the heathens, the other nations. And that's how we know that Revelation 7 is talking about Israelites. And because when did this take place, Vocab Malone? Did this take place already? It obviously didn't take place. And this is obviously talking about national Israel. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh. This is when the kingdom comes. When I shall bring you into the land of Israel, not Ron Doughton, not Elder Rakar Shayab, the GOCC, not you getting the passport. That's going to be the Most High. That's that great deliverance. The scriptures speak about the strangeness of his salvation. I'm not going to go, that's Wisdom of Solomon said that. Somebody can put it in, if I'm not mistaken. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh when I shall bring you into the land of Yeshua, into the country for the which I lifted up mine hand to give it to your fathers. And there shall ye remember your ways and all your doings, wherein ye have been defiled, and ye shall loathe yourself. That's getting ready to happen. We're going to be feeling bad for what we did on this side in your own sight for all your evils that ye have committed. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh when I have wrought with you for my name's sake, not according to your wicked ways, nor according to your corrupt doings, O ye house of Yeshua, Allah saith the Lord. See this whole rap industry thing, none of them jakes is in the hip hop community, they're not gonna make it unless they repent. They're all tatted up, they're all messed up, the women are all messed up. The Most High is he's just gonna do away with them. He's gonna burn them up. He's gonna incinerate them. You Christians, the Most High is just gonna incinerate you. You're gonna be incinerated. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face toward the south and drop thy word. So that's a Jake word, drop. This album is getting ready to drop. You're going to drop the word. That's right there, show you that with Jake. And drop thy word toward the south and prophesy. Who's the only ones that can prophesy? Prophets against the forest of the south field. You know what I'm going to do? Let me go here to Isaiah 19, because that kept popping in my brain. And this is where we're living in right now. And this is written in code. Esau speaks in code. Like if Esau calls the police, he said there's a suspicious person walking around. That's code for there's some niggas walking in my neighborhood. This is pretty long. I'm gonna go through it. Message to Egypt meaning America, modern Egypt. the burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, which is what? A UFO, and shall come into Egypt, talking about modern Egypt, America, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Let's look up the word melt. And this Egypt is talking about the new Egypt, America. Let's look up the word melt. Masas, masas. That's a primitive root. To dissolve, melt, to waste away, to melt, vanish, drop off, melt away, to faint, grow fearful, wasted, worthless, to cause to melt. Okay, it says, and when the sun waxed hot, it melted. I got to click on that. It melted. Okay, that was talking about the um, manna from heaven. So Egypt didn't melt. Egypt didn't get melted. Just looking through these precepts here. I'm not going to read all of them. Psalms 22, verse 14. I am poured out like water, and all my bones are out of joint. My heart is like wax, it is melted in the midst of my bowels. Because Esau is going to literally melt after they get hit with the radiation. Ezekiel, what is that? Ezekiel, what was that? 14 and 12. Micah 1 and 4. And the mountain shall be molten under him, and the valley shall be cliffs and wax before the fire, and as the waters that are poured down a steep place. So they're going to literally melt. They're going to literally melt. Let me go to Zechariah real quick because the Spirit's on me. Zechariah 14. And this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will spite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem, the Israelites. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. That's the nuclear radiation. So let me look up the word consume. Remember, it's got to be written in code. This Bible is written in code. Makwak. To decay, pine away, rot, fester, to rot, rot away, to molder away, to pine away, to cause to rot. Another word, dissolved, consume away, corrupt, pine away. Let's look up the word, click on the word dissolved. Isaiah 30, oh, beautiful. Isaiah 34, verse 4. And all the hosts of heaven, all the Edomites in their power seat. It's not talking about heavens in the sky. It's talking about Esau's heaven. Shall be what? Dissolved. The word there, H47, 43, goes back to the word melt. And then sometimes it says molten, like molten lava. And the heat and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. We know what that's talking about. And all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig tree, falling fig from the fig tree. Now I want to go to Micah. Where is that? Micah 4. I believe that's 10. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Jerusalem, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field. The city is Jerusalem. The field is Africa. We went into the interior of Africa, and we also scattered around. And thou shalt go even to Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered. There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of the enemies. This is not talking about ancient Babylon. This is talking about the new Babylon. That's also in Isaiah 21. So what prophecies is being fulfilled? Ezekiel 37 is one of them. Isaiah 19 is another. It said the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And this is modern day New Egypt. Like I said, I'm not going to read this whole thing. '17 verse, in the land of Judah, talking about the tribe of Judah, kingdom of Judah, shall be a terror unto Egypt. See, with all this stuff that the ADL did, calling out Ye and Kyrie, and you seeing Jake starting to say, nah, man, they're starting to, you know, see the connection there. They start connect with their people. You know, what you call this guy, Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley ain't saying too much because you got a lot of individuals among Jake that's like, you know, F that shit, you know? And that movie is still up playing. That movie is still up playing to this day. So if it's such a anti-Semitic movie, why is it still on Amazon playing? As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you that it's still playing. It's still playing. If you put in, okay, Hebrews and Negroes, it's still playing. If you click on it, it will lead you to, was it Prime Video, Amazon? So why didn't they call out Jeff Bezos? It's still up there. Even give you a rating, 3.3. So this is all BS. It has nothing to do with what Kyrie said. They getting Kyrie for something else. They getting on. They ain't telling you why they getting on. They're just using this to get on him. And Jake is waking up to this shit, man. And that's why it said, "And the land of Judah, meaning the kingdom of Judah, shall be a what? A terror unto Egypt. Everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself because of the counsel of Yahweh of hosts, which he hath determined against it. Against what? Against Egypt. Jake is getting mad right now. And then see, it backfired on the ADL because when they brought that up, it made people want to watch a movie and to discuss. Everybody's talking about Israelism, as vocab puts it. Go to Sarnetta's page. They're always gonna bring up Israel. Yeah, this guy, I was watching one of the videos, and this guy, let me get his name right. This individual here, brother Khalil Amani, he just got a stroke. I was watching him. Matter of fact, I can show you the actual video. It's right here. This video right here. You can see him right there. I couldn't even recognize him. And my woman got caught a stroke. She's getting better, but it takes a while. And the reason why Jake is catching strokes is because of the diet mainly. You got to get that blood flowing. You gotta do the cayenne pepper, the habanero, the what's that called? The lemon ginger blast. Look that up. Jake doesn't get bitters in his system or heat in his system. Hot peppers. It clears out the arteries. If you're having a heart attack or a stroke and you take a cayenne pepper pill or a cayenne pepper tincture, which I had right in front of me in a liquid form, it'll stop it right there to go throughout your system, and it'll stop that. It'll open up your vessels, which are the lining in your body. But if you go right here, this is about 1 hour in, Sarnetta Studios, Israel Doctrine versus Sarnetta. Does God have control over what you say and do? And he been against Israel because he came up under Yahweh ben Yahweh. So he kind of curses Israel. He's not an apologist for Israel. He comes to be against all that's Israel because of what that guy does. The truth is the truth. If the guy teaches you the truth, but he's not right, you get away from him. But this what's his brother's name? I forget his name. I don't know if he's still a part with down with the IOG, Israel of God. I forget his name. And he kind of said, get better. Because it was obvious. You see him, he had a stroke. But it goes back to diet. You gotta eat the proper diet. You gotta cut one thing, you gotta cut off, and then carbs. You gotta cut the bread, cut the wheat. At one time, wheat was healthy. You gotta cut the bread. I don't eat any bread. You can't eat hot dog rolls, hamburger rolls. You can't eat Wonder Bread. You can't eat wheat bread. You can eat Ezekiel 4:9 bread because that's sprouts, but it'll cut your roof of your mouth up. It's hard ass bread. No more rice, or very little rice. I haven't ate rice in over 6 months. No more rice. No potato chips, no potatoes, no baked potato. Well, baked potatoes are healthy, yeah, but it's starch, turns into sugar. That's why Jake suffers from strokes, diabetes, heart attacks. Jake is always in an emergency room, and is mostly because of their diet and their lifestyle. Even in Egypt, you were living good. You were eating prebiotics and probiotics. You were eating what do you call it? Leeks, I think you call it, onions and garlic, which are prebiotics. You got to get prebiotics and probiotics into your system. And Jake doesn't do that in the form of sauerkraut. What else? Yogurt. You got to get that good, healthy stuff. But Jake eats garbage. They straight up live off of garbage. I'm a little all over the place. I just lost my place. Bear with me. Give me a second here. Okay, here it is. I wanted to look up the word terror. And the land of Yahweh shall be a terror unto Egypt. Look up the word terror. A terror, a reeling in terror. Let's look up the root. Doesn't give me a lot. Chagad, the whole feast, hold a festival. That doesn't. Well, in our terror, it says we're going to dance in their blood. We're going to have our feet on their necks. When we come back. Shall be a terror. Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt, which is America. Everyone that maketh mention, and that's all this. Everybody talk about Israel. Shall be afraid. Shall be afraid. See, the ADL made a mistake in putting these guys on blast, and basically they want this guy to bow down to him and say, "Oh, great God, forgive me." They want to put God like fear in Kyrie Irving. It said to fear, tremble, revere, dread, be in awe, or dread, to be in dread, to be in awe, to be in great dread, to cause to dread. Dread is the feeling that you get before you die. Somebody got an axe, they ready. You want to feel dread in your heart. And that's Micah 5:7. That's Baruch. What is that? Baruch. I believe that's 4. You can start at 15. Let's read. Let's go to that a little bit. Baruch 4. You can read the whole chapter. It starts at about 15. For he had brought a nation upon them from far, a shameless nation and a strange language. Goes back to Deuteronomy 28. Who neither revenges old men, revenges old men, nor pity children. That's Deuteronomy 28 talk. These have carried away their dead beloved children of the widow Israel, and left her that was alone, desolate, without daughters. But what can I, what, but what can I help you, or how can I help you? For he that brought these plagues upon you, which is the Lord, you will deliver, you from the hands of your enemies. Go your way, O my children Israelites, go your way, for I am left desolate. I have put off the clothing of peace, and put upon thee the sackcloth of my prayer. I cry unto the everlasting in my days. That represents us crying unto the Lord. And this is Baruch speaking. Be of good cheer, O my children. Most High talking to Baruch. Cry unto Yahweh, and he will deliver you from the power and hand of the enemies. So this is the Lord speaking to Baruch, Baruch speaking to the Israelites. For my hope is in the everlasting, that he will save you. And joy is come unto me from the Holy One, because of the mercy which shall soon come upon unto you from the everlasting our Savior, which is Yahushua. For I sent you out with mourning and weeping, but the Most High will give you to me again, and joy and gladness forever, which is the kingdom, everlasting kingdom, kingdom with no end. Like as now the neighbors of Zion. Who are the neighbors of Zion? When you go to Isaiah 11, when you go to Ezekiel 25, when you go to Ezekiel 25 and 12, you read to a certain point. You got to keep reading because it mentions the nations. It mentions Edom. It mentions the Philistines. It mentions Moab. It mentions Ammon. Why does it mention those four? Because those were the direct neighbors of Israel. But it's talking about all these nations that came against us. Like as now the neighbors of Zion has seen your captivity to this very day. We're still we're captive. Read Jeremiah 30, the whole chapter. We're in our captivity as it is this day. What does it say in Baruch? What is that? 2 verse 30. You can start a couple of verses above that. So shall they see shortly your salvation. That's what's getting ready to happen. But the charagma has to come forth first, the MOTB, from our power, which shall come upon you with great glory, the brightness of the everlasting. My children, who is he talking to specifically? The Israelites, starting with the elect. Suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from the Most High, because the Most High set up this man for thine enemy have persecuted thee. Who's the last enemy? Esau. But these other enemies before us, they got to pay too. But shortly thou shalt see his destruction. And the whole world's going to see his destruction. It's going to stop the whole world. And shall tread upon his neck. What does that mean, tread upon his neck? Judah's hand shall be the neck of his enemies. Genesis 49. My delicate ones, the Israelites, have gone rough ways. And Kyrie's going through rough ways. You know? They dragging him right now. Yay, going through rough ways. Even them fellow Jay-Z and them didn't come. He even said that. He cursed them out because they're all insiders. All these top hip-hop artists, they all had that meeting. It was all pulled to the side. Why do you think Kendrick Lamar, he said to the world in one of his songs, "Don't call me black no more. That ain't fact no more. I'm an Israelite." And what happened? About a couple of months, it was Grammys, and we was thinking they focus on him. And then he made a speech because he got an award, and he said nothing about the Most High, nothing about Israel. He didn't say shalom. So they pulled him to the side and said, "Look, nigga, don't be pushing that, because we are those people." So what's going to happen to Kendrick? He's going to be put to death. Because he got the truth, but then he abandoned the truth. Now, if he stayed in the truth and there was a Passover, a month in, they would have invited him to the Passover, which he wasn't worthy to be in the Passover. Because he was not grounded and settled. You see how fast he threw that whole Israel thing off? My delicate ones have gone through ways and were taken away as a flock caught of the enemy. Who is the enemy? The scriptures say we will be like a ball. Let me get that. It's in Isaiah. We don't need this no more. All I got to do is put in the word ball. This is the only time it comes up. Isaiah 22, verse 18. He will, the Most High will surely violently turn and toss thee like a ball. That's talking about that's code for us being in cargo slave ships into a large country that's America. 5,000 miles square or square miles, 3,000 from the east to the west, 2,000, approximately 2,000 from the north to the south. That's the large country. There shalt thou die, and there the chariots of thy glory shall be the shame of thy Lord's house. Because ultimately, our glory is going to be turned into shame. But ultimately, that shame shall be turned into glory, and we're going to leave out of here in style. The ships that we're going to get beamed up in is made of, the psalmist saw it, the ships being of silver and gold. The prophets, Isaiah described the ships like birds flying. It says in Malachi 4 from the first verse, the day shall come that shall burn as an oven. There's so many scriptures on the destruction. So us getting passports and going to Africa or going to some wilderness ain't going to happen. The Most High is going to deliver us, bring us to a certain place, and then we're going to take over the whole world. The saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. Matter of fact, I'm going to end on that. All these prophecies are the same prophecies, just given to different prophets in different ways. So you have these Christian scholars, every time they go through a prophecy, well, this means that, and that means this, and Jeremiah said that, and that means this. It all means the same thing. It was just given to the prophets in different ways. They saw the vision in different ways. And we understand it because the Most High opened our eyes. Where the hell did I say I was going to go? Oh, Daniel. Daniel 7. This is the time to be going over these comfort one another with these words. You're supposed to deal with the whole scriptures, but the main thing you're dealing with is the prophecies, because these last few prophecies are getting ready to come to pass. The charagma, the destruction, the deliverance, the setting of taking down the world, taking the kingdom, and the kingdom of heaven. So we're in the home stretch. Now look at this. It says in the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream. Now, if you go to, let's go to Daniel 2. Daniel 2. And then the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams. So can other nations have visions of the end of this system? Yes. Nebuchadnezzar had a vision. He saw everything. He saw the destruction. He saw the Roman Empire. He saw the Persian and Mede Empire. He saw the Greeks. He saw all of that. But Daniel broke it down to him. Daniel told him what the dream was, first of all. And then he said, because I don't remember the dream, tell me what the dream was, the whole nine. He told him what the dream was. Then he broke the dream down to him. And then Daniel had a dream. This is what we're waiting for here. This is what we're waiting for. The Ancient of Days, which is the Father, and us taking over the kingdom. And this is beautiful, man. So Esau got to hurry up and push that damn charagma, the MOTB. He got to hurry. He got to stop pussyfooting around and dragging his feet, and he got to push that thing. He got to cause the whole world to receive that mark. So when that happens, everything's gonna. I'll say, next 2-3 months, we should be out of here. They're not gonna push that thing on the whole world, and then we here for another 5-6 years. When that thing happens, everything gonna move quick. That's the main thing that we're waiting for, so they can hurry up and institute that MOTB so we can get the hell up out of here. Then the destruction comes. The deliverance is going to come, us being beamed up. This is beautiful, man. And the ones of you that are not doing videos, you're not of the elect. The ones of you that haven't did videos in a number of months and a number of years, you're doing other things. There's no sense of urgency to you because you don't believe that the ships are coming. You know, I made Paul Kersey. He's a persona non grata. I don't want to deal with that guy no more. After he said what he said a couple of years ago, I can clearly see that the MOTB is what you guys say it is. But then the Most High took it away. Recently, he said, oh, maybe it came already. What did the Most High do? He took it away from you. Can't put new wine in old bottles. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.